Hello and welcome. So I'm going to show you how to add a second hard disk to server 02, which is our SCCM server, and why we are adding it, because we can use this second hard disk to save all the software for SCCM instead of saving it in the C drive, which has Windows Server 2012 operating system and SQL Server, WSUS server. So for software, we're going to use the second drive. I already have created the second drive. If I go to the File Explorer, Windows Explorer, there's the second drive already present, but I'm going to just show you how to do it, because it's not the steps are not available in the actual video where I was taking the class. So how to create or how to add a second drive for server 2, you have to first go to server 2, right click, settings, I already have this drive. You may not have this, but the steps I'm going to show you, just follow those steps and then you will have that second drive also available, right? So this will, for me, this will be the third drive. For you, it will be the second drive. The steps are just the same. So click add, press yes. Let me check if recording is going on fine. Yep. So hard disk is already selected here, right? So don't check anything else. Click next. Nothing to change here. Next. Nothing to change here. Here I have given the size of 100. The rest is all the default options. Next. And that's it. Click finish. For me, third hard disk has been added. For you, following the same steps, you will be adding the second disk and it will look like this. So press OK, and it's not gonna show up, so we have to first add it properly as a logical disk and format it. So for that, I'm gonna go to Server Manager and then File and Storage Services. Click there. I click the File and Storage Services now. Then I'm going to Disks. It should be showing one hard disk offline. So in your case, it will be the second hard disk. In my case, it's the third. So once the hard disk is offline, I'm going to right click, click bring online, just press yes here. It's online now, but this still the partition is unknown. Right click again, click initialize. It's going to say it's going to be a GPT partition instead of MBR, which is okay. Press yes. It is a GPT partition, but it's still not formatted. So right click and create a new volume. Next. Yes, it's the disk 2 for me, and for you it should be showing disk 1, which is okay. Press next. Yes, the maximum space, give it to the disk. Yes, next. In your case, maybe it's showing drive letter E. For me, it is showing F, so keep it E and click next. Here, just put the name SCCM. I put it the same way and click next and create. And it should go like this. When it's created, click close. So it is done from here. So let's go back to File Explorer, Windows Explorer. It should be showing like this. It's SCCM E for you, and for me it is this drive. I may not need the third one, but anyway, I just wanted to show you how to add and configure a second hard disk, right? So this is it for adding a second hard disk. Then the next step was to add, let me just put that notepad back here. So we have just done this step. This step is not in the original video. Now the second step is copying and installing ADK. I'm gonna just show you what I did till copying and the start of the installation, and the rest of the video just shows the end of the installation, right? So it is happening because I was creating a video but it crashed in the middle, so some of the video was not so some of the steps that I did in the class were not recorded because that video was lost. So I'm just redoing those steps, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is copy and do the start or show you the start of the installation, at what options I selected for ADK. So minimize, and I copied the ADK file inside SCCM and inside the software, and this is the folder that has it's 2.97 GB, nearly 3 gigs ADK folder with all the files. So I already gave you a link for that, so I'm just going to go to that path and copy that, or I'll just show you that what I did in the class which did not get recorded. So what I did was I copied this folder from my laptop hard disk into the second server and the second hard disk SCCM. I copied from there to here, right? It is if you don't have it, just download it from the Dropbox link I sent you into the Google group, and from there I double clicked and just double click this ADK setup file. Double click that. In my case, I have already installed it, right? In your case, it's going to just start installing like this. It will give certain options, just press next to them until you reach this screen, and here you just have to select deployment tools, Windows pre-installation environment, Windows PE, and user state migration tool. That's all. Once you select that, click next, and that's it. In your case, everything will be selected, right? So uncheck everything else like this and just keep these three selected. That's all. And now I'm gonna stop the video here because after this I'm attaching the original class video where this ADK is being installed, right? Okay, thank you, bye. Now, so we are back. Actually, we have till now added a second disk on machine on server 2 by the name of E drive, and then we have copied Windows Assessment Deployment Toolkit, which is 3 gigs folder on our E drive, the second hard disk we added in server 2. And now we are running this ADK on our server 2, and I had written down all the steps but never expected that I had to actually restart the machine. It happened. Now this is a new recording, so I'm just putting down the steps quickly now. All the steps are all the following steps on server 02. Adding second disk, copying and installing ADK, SQL server, install WSUS, and then SCCM 2012. Seriously, okay. And our SCCM class steps, just get it over with now. Okay, so I'll just follow up with that. ADK is being installed, adding second disk is being done right now. So previous recording is actually lost, so I'm just adding these steps there. This is the recording that has started again. We were having issues for the record of the video. We were having issues with the recording. Okay, ADK is installed. I think everyone has installed the ADK. It has been terribly slow, but we're gonna go a little faster. I'm just recapping the older steps, the previous steps older. So what I did was I went to server 2 settings and then just added a second disk here. With 100 GB is I only changed the size. The rest is the default wizard. Then I copied this Windows deployment grid ADK. I created a software folder. Inside the software folder, I copied this Windows kits ADK and then installed it just now. That's the only thing we have been able to do. But we did discuss a lot about on the slide about primary site and secondary site and central administration site or CAS. That took time. So now I am going to go for the next step, which is SQL Server. So let's just mount the SQL Server DVD. So our second disk adding was done. Now let's just go for and then we added install the ADK as well. I hope everyone has installed ADK, but I'm sorry, I'm just going now the next step is SQL Server install, and sorry for all the disruptions. It's just unexpected. So I'm just going to now. So how do we install SQL Server? So there's a comment in the chat how to install ADK. Just copy the ADK file inside the SCCM E drive in the software. Were you able to copy this ADK? If yes, then go inside the folder ADK, double click the ADK setup, and the features are installed already, it's saying, because we have installed it. But if we continue, these are the three. Just remember that these are the three we had. Now it's in the video as well. So deployment tools, Windows pre-installation environment, and user state migration. The rest is just next finish. Nothing else we did. These three we selected in the ADK, right? So I'm just cancelling out, because if you run the installation again, we can just later add more tools here, right? So I'm just cancelling out from here, and it's also now in the video. So let's just go ahead and add. Let's just go ahead and add the SQL Server. Don't worry, I'm going to try to create another video of the same. Although we haven't done a lot of complicated steps, so this video should be good as well. So next step is to install SQL Server. How do we do that? First, I'm going to mount the ISO file of the SQL Server. I hope you have all downloaded. Yeah, so I hope you have all downloaded the SQL Server. So ISO file from my Dropbox link. Lawan would be asking now, hey, send that link as well. So yes, we're gonna be I'm gonna send that too. So SQL Server, um, so I'm just going to now add that. So settings on server 2, there's a comment in the chat, the video started after that. Yes, so I just showed you now the step, but don't worry if it is confusing. I'm just gonna recreate the video and send it. So it's just what we missed was ADK, and I showed all the options again, so you could try that now or later when you start the video, or repeat the lab. Okay, so what I'm doing is mounting the SQL Server ISO, right? So it's DVD here, ISO image is there. Obviously we have SCCM or Windows 2012 right now mounted here, the ISO. So I'm just gonna click browse. I'm just gonna go to that location where SQL Server ISO file is there. So SQL stuff, well, it's my folder. So ISO file, maybe you have this one, ISO file for SQL Server 2012, right? But make sure that you have internet connection to this server 2 machine. So I'm just going to mount this SQL Server file to the DVD of server 2. So everyone was able to do that? Okay, guys, also one more thing, if you're missing these steps, or if you're left behind for some reason, or because of what's happening here as well, don't worry, this video recording is just for that. Just try to understand now. If you're with me, okay. If you're not with me, then just try to understand what's going on, and then just see the video later. And I'm in contact during the week. Just let me know where you're stuck, right? And have your team viewer also available. I could just connect remotely as well, right? So now the DVD, I'm just trying to connect to the SQL Server DVD. I just mounted the SQL Server ISO to the DVD. Now double click that SQL Server, press yes, and now installation. So if this SQL Server installation opens, then click the installation. It opens in planning. Just go for second option, installation. Then there are many options, but just go for right side, the top option, new SQL Server standalone installation, or add features to an existing installation. So of course it's a new SQL Server standalone installation, right? Click. So it's going to run some tests, and if we click show details, which is a good idea to always see that every test should be passed, there is nothing left here, .NET or SQL Server product incompatibility test or other tests, so it's all okay. Press OK here, right? So I'm just installing SQL Server now, then I'm gonna go for WSUS, then finally SCCM. Really need to finish it today. Okay, so this is the, you would see the thing here. There's a product key area. Next, I accept the license terms. Yes. Send feature usage to Microsoft. While in production environment they do that, and I'll just skip that. So accept the license. Next, nothing technical here. So what it says, I'm just gonna make sure that I have internet connection to this server 02 machine. Yes, I have it, and we should have it. There is that it detected that there is an update missing, and it found online it's just 26 megabytes, so it's not gonna take time. Let's keep it checked. Includes SQL Server product updates. We need that, and click next. Right, I hope everyone is on this step. So this is the SQL Server. Although I put the link inside the LMS, um, but I can just put that. I'm so sorry, one more time for the SQL Server. Okay, paste this is the link for downloading the SQL Server in the chat. I've put that there. So again, the steps, there's a question that please put the SQL Server steps one more time for SQL Server. So Ali, you can I'm putting you on mic because I need to know which step you are on. So can you come on mic and ask? I've opened your mic, Ali. You can ask on mic. Yep. It's much quicker. So, yeah. Yeah, so I mounted it first. Did you mount it? Okay. You know how to mount? Okay. You have SQL, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, welcome. So, guys, anyone else having question? Please come on mic or let me know in chat. I want to come on mic, and when we instead of you have to type, just come on mic and let me know if you're stuck somewhere. It's okay. And there is that SQL Server deployment going on right now. If you miss any step and it's quick, I can let you know. If it's something long and I already, because of my machine, because of my side, my bad, some time was wasted, but you can still ask question on the audio while this installation is going on. And I think I need to just check. So download setup files, this is in progress. Let me just check if I have internet. Of course I should be having internet. Sometimes it just moves and we are thinking, oh yeah, we have internet, blah blah blah. So that's okay. And there is that oops, should not be putting news there. So internet is there definitely. Okay, in progress. And close MSN. Okay, yes, close MSN, good idea. But oh seriously, I have just 5 GB left. Start killing some machines. Okay, delete at once. What do I delete? Tell me. WDS, I need that. 4 machines here, test machines. Okay. I need those machines as well. Seriously. Okay. So VMware, Umber, Citrix. I don't have any machines there. SharePoint. No. SQL, I have a lot of machines. This is an ongoing. Okay. I'll create that environment again. So test machines, you need to go now. Delete from disk. So this is how we can maintain our environment. Just delete machines. They take off a lot of space. One more thing. Did my recycle bin did not take it, so it just went away. This means I should have some space now. Do I? Seriously, 3 GB? The test machine did not count at all. What do you have here? Okay, you know, disaster after disaster is striking. Really, this is annoying. Okay guys, since I can recreate this whole environment again, so I'm just removing some serious machines here now. Always have 1 terabyte of No, I'm just kidding. Drive. SSD drive. It's just, you know, 300 GB or 400 GB. 43 gigs, thank God. Okay. I'll survive today. Okay, so server 2 here. Let's see where it is now. It was running out of space. Okay, so I passed a lot of tests and failed. There's a warning in one test. So I hope you guys also did not get a warning. But this is firewall that is on, and there's a warning, which is okay. I don't want this to be a problem, so I'm just gonna go back to the local server, and yeah, firewall is on, and it's the domain profile that's on. Just press OK. Even if you just go ahead with it showing as a warning, it's gonna be okay. So yep, now it's okay, all green. I just, you know, make sure everything's green, right? Next. Now it's saying SQL Server feature installation, then SQL Server Power Pivot for SharePoint. We don't have SharePoint, we don't care about that now. SQL Server feature installation, yes, a plain and simple installation of a SQL Server, so I'll just keep it. So in the setup role, I'm just going to keep it default. Next. So what we did till now was that we deployed an update that was required by SQL Server. So your machine must be online and you must have a hard disk space. So here in SQL Server, what do we need to select? I'm just going to go for, this is the instance level features. So this instance is specifically dedicated for SCCM, right? So database engine, definitely we need a database engine to have a database, right? The rest is, we can have reporting services as well. We can just, we don't need SQL replication or full text and semantic extractions and data quality services for now. Reporting services, we don't need analysis services. Reporting services I'm adding, so what I'm adding in SQL instance features is database engine services, reporting service, and way down I'm gonna go, we need management tools definitely, right? So management tools basic and complete will get selected both when you just select one. So again, database engine, reporting services, and management tools. That's all we need. We don't need anything else for now, but we can come back anytime to install anything extra if we need. So I'll just click next from here. And yep, it is recording. Okay, now show details again. It did pass 2 more tests. Next. Okay, so default instance, let's keep it this name. This instance is dedicated for SCCM, so whatever name is there, just keep it like that, default one. And it's, the path is also C drive. Next. Nothing changed on this screen in instance configuration on the left, right? Left, right, okay. Disk usage summary, yes, go ahead. We have a lot of disk space. Next. Now there's SQL Server agent, there's SQL Server database engine, there's SQL Server reporting services, SQL Server browser, which is disabled by default. If we have more than one instance, then this browser service automatically goes to enabled and automatic. But for now we just have one instance, so we don't need this. Let's keep it disabled. But others, so guys, here we have to make sure that this is all running on domain admin accounts, right? So we all know our domain admin account, which is SCCM admin, from which I am logged in right now. So if I go to this is the SCCM admin account where I'm logged into. If I go back to my desktop, so I'm going to actually mention this, that run this service with this account having domain level privileges, right? So I'm just gonna click drop down on the first on SQL Server agent and go to browse, and I'm just gonna type SCCM admin, which is our domain admin. Press tab, it's gonna go to check name. Press that space bar, it has checked the check name. Yes, this account exists in Active Directory. So press OK, and this account is added here, and I'm putting the password of, well, here we have given just class password, so which is okay, and startup type is automatic. I'm gonna do this exact same three things here to those two. Well, it's automatic already, so I don't have to touch this startup type, but the domain admin, the SCCM admin here, and the passwords. So I'm just gonna go one by one now. For database engine, to be using this high elevated account, SCCM admin, check name for, you know, maybe there's spell mistake, press OK, and here comes the password. Now the third one, browse SCCM admin, check name, press OK, and there you go. So I hope everyone understands that, you know, I just gave a domain admin account here, the password, here it was manual, so I just changed it to automatic. Nothing else needs to be done. This is it. And collation, we don't need to touch this. I just press the tab anyway. I touch it, but you don't have to, right? And maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, just keep it to SQL, Latin, general. This is just for, you know, some SQL Server in-depth related tasks, which has nothing to do with our SCCM related features. So click next. Well, so we understand on this server configuration screen we just mentioned, for these services, our domain admin account and password. Okay, click next. If there's a confusion, you can come on mic. So now we are on the left side on database engine configuration, and here on this page all we need to do is click this button called add current user, and we will stay with Windows authentication mode. So SCCM would be saving through this account, you know, all its configuration inside the database. Okay, add current user. So that's it. Whatever user it detected as logged in, it just added that here to authenticate, to make changes to SQL Server through this account. Okay, that done. So what I did on this page, just add current user, right? Okay, next. So now the next screen comes. Reporting services, native mode, yes, install and configure. Report server in native mode. The report server is operational after setup completes. Yeah, okay. We'll just leave it default on reporting services configuration. Next. Send Windows and SQL Server error reports. Nah, just leave error reporting. Just leave it like that. Next. Right. So I hope you're understanding. If you're following, that's very good. If you're not able to follow for some reason, you're understanding what's going on, right? So in the big scheme of things, we are on this stage. The earlier two steps are done. SQL Server installation is going on now. So I'm just gonna drag it again to the second screen. Okay. So here I'm on the screen, installation configuration rules here, and nothing here, just expanded the show details to know if I passed all the tests, although it's written here pass 6, failed 0, warning 0. Next, and I think we're ready. We're ready to rock and roll. Oh, okay. So it's also going to be deployed in the C drive, and all the installation details are present in the configuration file.ini, right? Okay, click install, and there you go. While this installation is going on, you can, if you have TeamViewer, I can connect to your machines while this installation is going on. If you have any questions, you can come on mic or just put your questions in chat. We can have this interaction now while this installation is going on, and I hope those who are following are able to, you know, ask any questions. If there are any questions, you could just ask. Other than that, I'm going to so this installation continues. After that, we are going for the SQL one, WSUS, and then the SCCM, right? So for the software, there is a SQL Server. Okay, guys, one more thing. I'm gonna make it easy for you. It's a small file. You must have deployed it already, so it's back to SQL Server. So I'm just gonna share this link. I'm sure you must have had this, but while this installation is going on, and before the start of SCCM installation, let me just drag that Dropbox screen. I'm just dragging this. So number one here, all the software we needed to install the SCCM. One was the prereq script. We have that. Then second was SQL Server. We are installing right now this one, right? Third is we need this now. Okay, ADK, I should have numbered it actually second. Sorry. So we are installing this, but we also need Service Pack 2. If you already have it, it's okay. You just need to copy this to the E drive or the second drive of our server 2. If you don't have it, I'm putting the share link for that. Download it now. It's an exe file, it's not that big. I'm putting that in the chat area. I've just pasted that file in the chat area. If you don't have it, go ahead and install that, because after the SQL Server installation we need Service Pack 2. If we don't install that now, at certain stage SCCM will stop and check that SQL Server is not up to date. If we install this before starting the SCCM installation, the Service Pack 2 of SQL Server, then SCCM installation will not pop that error. So I've just put that link there on the chat. If you don't have it, install that now while SQL Server is being installed, and if you have it, you don't have to download it now there. So while this installation is going on, what features are we installing for ADK? Okay, there's a question from Shahab. The features we're installing are the second, third, and fourth. Okay, is there a picture here? Oh, there's a picture as well. Let me just show you. Oh, there's that link that we sent, right? So that has ADK as well. Let me just drag that picture now. Where, you know, on the day one I sent that link for. So I'm just gonna show that now. Oh, seriously. That guy's online link that I sent you, he cannot just skip the ADK installation, but I think he did it after the SQL installation. Seriously, he's showing. I'm on that link actually. I'm just trying to get that picture and just put it on the screen now. But oh yeah, there it is. So got it. I'm just dragging that picture here. Shahab, you can see that. Deployment tools, Windows pre-installation, user state migration. So these are the three ones. So it's, yeah, second, third, and fourth. Oh, you got it? Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So guys, I'm just gonna send this link as well, just to just for reference, but you can ask me now because I'm actually here to. I'm waiting for your questions, and the link is also there in the chat again, and it will be there until the installation of SCCM is done, and today I intend to do that. Dun, dun, dun. So SQL Server installation is going on. You can ask me any question, whichever stage you're at right now, you can ask me, and that link also shows, but you know, you can ask me directly, come on the mic or put on the chat, and I'm gonna reply to your questions at whichever stage you are right now. And If you have TeamViewer, I can just connect now to your TeamViewer. If the installation is not done at my place, at my computer, I can just connect to your TeamViewer and drag your TeamViewer so everyone could see that, and it gets recorded and we can troubleshoot what you're stuck at. And during the week also, you can just let me know where you are and what error you're facing, and we can troubleshoot. Have your TeamViewer ready, install this. It's very mucho importante that we get this lab finished. And now there's other classes the day after tomorrow on Thursday, so please have this lab ready, because on Thursday we're going to be configuring SCCM environment, and that's going to be really important. So get your labs done tonight. Tomorrow whole day you have time, and engage me, call me, tell me, WhatsApp me, put it on email, put it on group, put it on Skype, but have your lab ready before Thursday 7 o'clock. And take screenshots now if you can, or just better to repeat the whole thing in your other test machines and take screenshots there. So SQL Server is there. While SQL Server installation is going on, what I was showing you before, now I'm going to add this extra step here in Notepad as well, just to get you up on this. Install SQL Service Pack 2. Once this is done, we're going for WSUS. It's better to install that now instead of when SCCM prompts you, hey, SQL Server is not updated. So after you install Service Pack 2, then SQL Server has no problem. So SQL Server install going on, and it's about to finish. I need to copy the exe file, this exe file of SQL Server Service Pack 2 into the E drive. So once the SQL Server installation is done, then I can initiate the installation of Service Pack 2, right? Control S, save it and drag it away. Now while this is going on, I'm just going for that folder which has Service Pack 2 for SQL Server. So this folder, I just gave you the link for that. In my case, yeah, there it is. Update for SQL Server 2012, extracted folder for SQL Server. Need that. I just need update. And SQL Server, yeah, SP2, Service Pack 2. This is the file you should have. Right click, copy. So SQL Server Service Pack 2. So I'm just gonna copy it on machine server 02 and copy it on the second drive in the software. Paste. It's a small file, so it's copying fast. Okay, so it's there. Service Pack will be installed once, of course, the actual SQL Server software is installed. Oh, it is 1 gig. No. Yeah. 1 gigabyte. I'm gonna minimize that, and it's in final stages, SQL Server. So okay, done. Kinda. So guys, try to repeat this lab. You have repeated the previous lab. Now you have less time. You have tonight, you have tomorrow, and then you have the day after tomorrow till 7 o'clock to make this lab, the whole class lab, successful. and please engage me wherever you're stuck. I can connect remotely to your machine through TeamViewer. Send me your screenshot if you're stuck somewhere after the class till before the next class. Okay, everything succeeded here, all green here. I'll click close here, and there is one extra small step, and I just want you to not miss that, is to, after SQL Server installation, adjust the memory to 8 GB for min and max. This is a requirement. This is recommended for SQL Server optimum performance, that you put the minimum and maximum required memory or for this SQL Server. I'm going to show you now where it is and why we're doing that. But this is an extra step I'm adding. You can later. I'm just going to send these steps. That's what we did today in the this lab. So you could just go one by one. You put license key. There is that option there. If you have go for evaluation version. Ali, go for evaluation version. This is a comment in the chat. If you have downloaded the SQL Server I provided, there is that license key for this is also for educational purpose. So there is that license key. You can have your own, or let me just pause now. Okay, so we're back. I just wanted to show you the SQL Server memory related configuration after we have installed SQL Server. So I'm just going to go inside Server Manager and actually to go and check the files we have installed. And if we scroll to the right side, we are looking for SQL Server Management Studio, and this icon with tools here, and SQL Server Management Studio is showing here. So I'm just gonna start this SQL Server Management Studio here, and then I'm just going to adjust the memory for this instance. It just pops up that where's that instance installed, so on which server it is installed, the database engine. So it is of course our current server, which is detected correctly. So I'm just gonna click connect here. It is showing green, which means it's working fine, but what we need to do is right click this actual SQL Server and go to properties, and go to memory, and then I'm just gonna put there in memory 8048 and press tab. Then it's gonna go to the second side. It was 0 up to certain gigabyte of memory it was showing there. So I'm just gonna put it both to 8048. But the thing is that it's it's a best practice. It's better to do that. So SQL Server, when it's really under pressure, it's going to just take that setting and try to use up that much memory, minimum at least, whatever it requires. So we have done that right now. Okay guys, one more thing is that I have sent you the link for that step-by-step deployment, but some of the steps I'm going to take here in the video, in the class, are not mentioned there. So don't just fully follow this. So I'm just going to drag this now. This page, this blog where there is mentioned step by step all the windows. So not what I'm doing, not everything is there in this blog. So but this is good for knowing that how where to go for the prereqs, where to go for SQL Server, where to go for ADK, where to go for SCCM. But some of the things you have to really follow me and follow this video, because I'm doing that with all the remaining features that are not mentioned in the, some of the features are not mentioned there, so just follow me. Okay, so what I did was 8048 or 8 gigs minimum, 8 gigs maximum here, press OK. So this is just a best practice strategy suggested by SCCM community. I'm just gonna I have put the minimum and maximum memory for SQL Server, and that's all I need to do here. And I'm gonna close that Server Management Studio, SQL Server Management Studio. Let's go, and now if I just drag this step, where are we at this stage? So we added second disk, we copied and installed ADK, then we have just finished installation of SQL Server, and also we adjusted the memory of SQL Server. Now it's time for installing SQL Server Service Pack 2. So Control S, drag it away, and I have already copied that 1 gig Service Pack 2 for SQL Server in the E drive. So I'm just going to start installation. Obviously it's Service Pack 2, so first SQL Server has to be installed, and then over that SQL Server it will be installed, right? Okay, it's popping up for elevated rights. Yes. Now it's gonna go ahead and try to give the same wizard as we saw in SQL Server, but this is just Service Pack 2 with all the latest updates. Still not latest, but it is going to cover what SCCM 2012 requires. I have provided you the files for SCCM, and you should be just going for those, but we could try to download from Microsoft site as well. It's just going to be more updated than what we are using. Anyway, what features we need, later we can update our SCCM as well. We are connected to internet anyway. So it is also checking all the prereqs for SQL Server. This is Service Pack 2. So I'm just pressing next here, and I accept the license terms. Same drill, next, and it's going to deploy all this. Yes, selected, next, nothing to touch, nothing to change. Checking files, it's going to connect to internet and check file as well. Whatever updates it needs, it will install, which is good. It's also checking local files as well. Everything which is supposed to be there is there. Okay, completed. So next, now it's going to deploy. It says update here, so click update. So Service Pack 2 is being installed on top of the SQL Server 2012 installation. So we're using SQL Server 2012 for SCCM 2012, but you could use SQL Server older than that, and 2005 you can use as well, 2008 you can use as well, but it's good to use 2012 with better features. Now SQL Server 2014 and 2016 are also there, but SCCM is still 2012. We're going to be talking about lots of design related and additions and history related topics, but I want to make sure that we are good on the basic lab, and we're going step by step, slow and steady. If our basic lab is perfect, then we're going to go for very interesting yet complicated stuff to deploy operating system, to deploy all the other stuff. There are many working components of SCCM. All have to be intact, all have to be communicating to each other. So I'm just not going to rush for all the labs. I'm just going to make sure that you get it right, because it's not easy to really maintain that. So our installation, if our installation is perfect, we're good. All the other steps will be perfect as well. So please involve me, ask me if you're stuck somewhere and you need to finish this lab successfully before Thursday's 7 o'clock class. So before 7 o'clock, try to finish this successfully. So if there are any questions, you can ask. Here, okay, there's a comment, SQL file. You're not able to copy the SQL file. Okay, yeah, so Shop, you can go for if you have VMware tools installed, then you just right click the server 2 machine here like this, and just go for options and go for shared folders, and then copy from there this file, because sometimes it just not, the drag and drop does not work sometimes. You know how to do that? I can show you. Once you have added your D drive or your laptop, it's there, but I get a weird message. Okay, I'm just reading the chat right now, guys. So it's there, so it's in the machine. You could just download this 1 gig file, which I just provided you the link. If somehow you may have downloaded the previous one, SQL Source Pack 2, or you can send the screenshot as well to the group, and we can all see what's going on. But Shahab, were you able to install the SQL Server? And you're talking about SQL Server ISO file or the SQL Server Source Pack 2 update? Oh, you can come to Mike if you want, because you're typing. Okay. I'll send a screenshot, but I can't download the SQL ISO file separately. Can't? Yep. Oh, so this is the source pack 2 file, right? Not the actual SQL Server file. SP2, and you're not able to copy it from the shared folder as well. Oh, and you have access through shared folder to your desktop or laptop file, right? Drive. Oh. Okay. Maybe your C drive of your laptop or desktop is full, or any of the drive is full where you have or your virtual machine drive might be full, which should not be the case. Okay. Thursday, yeah. Yeah, the host drive I was referring to. Oh, it's slow, but it has it has capacity. Okay. Can you try to copy any other file, or can you try to copy the file in the first machine, server 1? Maybe you have to just restart your virtual machine. Yeah. If not, then the whole VMware workstation you have to try, close and open after restarting the virtual machines, or just one virtual machine restart should do. It's Microsoft. Okay, so update is done here, all green. So I'm just gonna click close here. So if we go to the bigger scheme of things. Install SQL Server Service Pack 2 done as well on the notepad now. So there's WSUS is the next step, and guys, we're not installing WSUS full, like we're installing binaries. We're going to be giving the path of our local SQL server for the WSUS, but we're not going to further configure WSUS. That said, let's just do that, and you're going to see what I meant by that. But we're not configuring WSUS, we're just installing WSUS, right? So again, dragging it to the second screen, and okay, so closing this. WSUS is a built-in role inside Windows Server 2012. So this is the case is that maybe WSUS is already deployed somewhere else in the environment. In that case, it's a little different step, but we're deploying it on the same server where we plan to deploy SCCM later. So I'm just going to add that role. I'm going to go to dashboard of server 2, and I'm going to go to add roles and features of server 2, and then next, you know the drill. This is the roles window, and I'm just gonna scroll down, and Windows Server Update Services is there, but and it's going to pop up the window, Windows Internal Database, add features, although we're not going to use that. Just adding this role here now. Next. Nothing in the features right now. Next. WSUS, yeah, some of the intro, which is next. Here we have to be careful. WSUS, it can use Windows Internal Database or WID database. This is a small database for, you know, small organizations having very less clients, but we're going to be using, we already have our SQL Server installed for SCCM, so we're not going to use this small internal database called WID or Windows Internal Database. So I'm going to uncheck this. I'm going to check this one, database, because we're going to give the path of our locally installed database, right? So once this is selected, next screens will, you know, it will ask where's that database. So make sure you're not selecting or using WID, you're using your own database. So second one, next, it's going to ask where we're going to store the WSUS files. This is a typical configuration for you know, WSUS. If we had separately installed WSUS just to use WSUS, we were gonna give this path. Whatever path we give here, all the Windows updates will be downloaded there, right? In our case, we have a second drive, which is E. So I'm just gonna put E colon here, backslash. I need to put a folder there. So I'm just going to put WSUS. So what I'm saying is, hey, Mr. WSUS, just I have a second drive called E, and inside there, just create a folder for me, and whatever WSUS related downloads out there, just download in that folder, right? So we're not messing with our C drive here. Okay, once this is done, next, now it's asking, okay, where's that database? Where's that SQL server? So it says specify an existing database server, machine name backslash instance name to install. So the thing is that if we did not change our instance name, which we did not, so we just need to put the machine name. In our case, we know the machine name, right? On this server, so server 2. So if I go back, local server, here's the machine name, server 2, and domain name. So full FQDN I'm gonna give server 2.sccm domain.local. So server 02.sccm domain.local, and check connection. So it should say successfully connected to server. because SQL Server is there, so should be successful, right? So that's the second thing we need to be careful about. And next, right? If it needs a restart, yes, go ahead. So I'm just gonna press this. If it doesn't need a restart, it's not gonna restart, right? It's always good to not miss any restarts in Windows environment or anywhere else if it requires one. So click install. While WSUS is installing, as I said before, we need not further configure it. We did define that we have our own separate SQL Server. We did define the path where WSUS folder should be located, but we're not going to further configure WSUS. Why? Because SCCM will handle WSUS. So, but SCCM needs to detect if WSUS role is deployed, and it is, right? So it is. We have deployed WSUS, but don't go further. That's what I'm saying, right? Maybe the window does pop up, so we're just gonna cancel that. So I'm just closing on this window. There's that SQL Server. I'm just minimizing that or close that. Doesn't matter. There's that WSUS role installed here as well, and the yellow triangle says that WSUS is there, launch post installation task. So let's not go there, right? Keep it with this setting. Make sure you've defined the path, and the SQL Server was our local SQL Server. If that is done, so WSUS, if I click here, configuration required for the Windows Software Update Services, and here it says launch post installation. Let me just show you one thing. So I did click that launch post installation of WSUS. I'm not going to configure it. In some cases it just pops up. Okay, there's a comment there, next for GPO, group policy update, group policy object. Oh, not update. GPO, no. So yes, Ali, you were saying next for GPO. You remember that with WSUS we need to configure GPO as well, so the WSUS updates could go to all the clients, but here SCCM will do that, so we don't have to go for GPO for WSUS, because SCCM will first discover all the clients in the domain, then it's going to deploy its SCCM client software, then SCCM will just download updates through WSUS and deploy it to its clients. So yes, it is going to use WSUS. SCCM will be going to use WSUS, but it's not going to go ahead and use the GPO for that. Okay, I did click the launch post installation, and it did do some more internal configuration, which is okay, but do not further configure it. So after installation of WSUS, if you see a yellow triangle saying post installation task, yes, go ahead, click that. It's still going to further configure some more, but then leave it there. So do not miss that yellow triangle after you have deployed the WSUS, right? Okay, so in the bigger scheme of things, we are down to our SCCM installation. So this is also done. Let's go for SCCM now. So let's just check. I'm just checking some other areas. So there is that yeah. So where is SCCM right now? So I have to mount the ISO of SCCM to the DVD of this server 02, right? So right click server 02, go to settings. I previously mounted SQL Server ISO to this, Now I need to mount SCCM ISO to this ISO file. So I'm just gonna click DVD of server 2 and then go to browse and then go back where SCCM files were present, and format, there it is. So if you have downloaded from the path that I have given in the Dropbox for SCCM, that's the file, and just double click that, and there you go, press OK. So I have mounted the SCCM ISO to the file. So let's just start that. I'm just thinking if I'm not missing anything, but I'm not. So ZCZ and good access to since we had to restart for some reason, so just going way down and where I put the steps. Yes, yep, everything done, done. Yep, we're going fine. Okay, since there are so many steps, so always double check, make sure any small thing isn't missing. So now let's just go to SCCM. I have mounted it to the DVD, so I'm just gonna go back to the File Explorer, the Windows Explorer, and then on to the DVD here, which has the SCCM ISO file mounted. So double click that. It's going to pop up with this window. We're just gonna go for HTML for that, and there you go, the SCCM is there. So we're just gonna click install now, because we're gonna go for a simple straight installation. There are other options here as well. We're gonna be talking about later actually what these options are. So before you start, there should be SQL Server, FQDN of the SQL Server. Just make sure where it is. It's saying confirm the computers for configuration managers site systems meet the minimum requirements. Yes, they do. Okay, anything, everything is okay. So it's just that it's the prereq. Next. Okay, there's install a configuration manager primary site. Use typical installation options for standalone primary site. Install a configuration manager primary site. Use default installation path. Configure the local SQL Server with default settings. Enable local management. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it selected. I'm not gonna click this. Install a configuration manager central administration site. We're gonna be doing it later, because this is just a primary site, not the central administration site or CAS, which handles more than one primary site. We're not recovering a site here as well, so it's a plain simple installation. I'm just going to keep it clicked here and not check anything further, and click next. On this screen, just the default options, and click next, right? Okay, so evaluation version, we're just going for that. Install the evaluation edition of that. It is good 180 days, so we have enough time. Next, accept the license agreement. Next, I accept the license agreement for SQL Server, although it's not expressed, but still I'm just gonna accept the license agreement. We're not actually deploying the software, and Silverlight we would need it later, Microsoft Silverlight. So all three, just check it. Next. Okay, this is tricky, not that tricky. So remember in the last class where we finished, so it was where we deployed all the prerequisites for the primary site configuration of SCCM. So where we finished was the prereqs totally installed in a folder. Now if we have already done that, so use previously downloaded files, or you want to do that again, those 56 downloads it needs. So it's asking download required files to a network share, but we already downloaded on server 2 those prereqs through that script. So I'm just gonna give the path of that script, right? So it's saying either it's on a network share, it's okay, or in the C drive. So I'm just gonna browse to that area, that folder where we downloaded all the prereqs for primary site configuration, and I'm just gonna give the path for that. So this PC, then downloads, and I created that folder by the name of SCCM prereqs. Click that SCCM prereqs wherever you created that folder in the last class. Just go to that path and click that SCCM prereqs or whatever name you gave, and don't go further down, just the top of that folder, and press OK. So it does not have to download the whole thing again, right? Next. So if it accepts that, it's going to verify downloaded prerequisite components, 15 out of 15. Oh, that was not 56, sorry, 15. Okay, but it's there in that folder, right? Now the language, of course, server language selection, English. Okay, next. I'll just keep the default. Client language option, so server language option and client on the client side as well, the language options. So we're just gonna go for English. Next. So this screen, very important, site code. Suppose there are 10 branches and you're deploying SCCM to Toronto site. So you would put some code to represent that physical location. So for Toronto, TOR, London, LON, Brampton, BRM, or New York, NYC. So it's up to you, but what's the significance of that? The clients will later, suppose there are 1000 Windows 7 in New York, so those clients would go to the site code. Those clients would know that is it my local SCCM site from which I need to get these updates, SCCM updates, or through SCCM you're deploying Windows updates, through SCCM you're deploying some software. So New York clients, for New York clients, in their SCCM client software, I told you that SCCM client software needs to be installed in Windows 7, Windows 8. Inside the SCCM client software, there will be a recommendation, there will be a site option here as well. If those Windows 7 machines, suppose, are in New York, so in the SCCM client software which is installed inside the Windows 7 machine, it will be NYC. So the SCCM client inside the Windows 7 will tell Windows 7, hey, you are supposed to only communicate with NYC site, and that NYC will be mentioned only there because it wants the clients to connect locally to that site, right? So if this is the SCCM server and these are the clients, this is the Toronto site, and then there is another site here. So this is the Toronto site and this is the SCCM server for that site. Now there is another site here which is NYC, and it's the client machines for Toronto should have TOR as the site name. So these machines should be connecting to their local server, and client machines should have NYC here as a site name, so they would know that they are supposed to connect to the NYC SCCM server. So the site name just tells the client machines which site they are supposed to be connected or which site they are part of, right? And how do the client machines know, oh, I am part of TOR, or oh, I am part of NYC? Because they have all Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows XP have SCCM client software available, client software inside, that tells them you're part of NYC and you're part of Tor, right? So the site name is very important here. So as site codes and site name. So specify a site name that helps to identify the site. Example, Contoso headquarters site. So we can just, oh, we're not in New York, so Tor here, and we can just say Toronto site, Toronto branch, Toronto headquarters, whatever. Okay, so Tor is the site code, and we're gonna later see that in once we deploy SCCM clients to our Windows 8 and Windows 7 machine, we're gonna see where it's written there. Also, keep it checked. Install the configuration manager console. We need a console, of course, to manage the whole site. So it's gonna be checked, and SCCM will be installed in the C drive. So this is the full setting for this page. I hope everyone understands that. So I'm just gonna click next. Now it says join the primary site to an existing hierarchy. We do not already have a central administration site, and this is a primary site we're installing for the first time. So it's installed the primary site as a standalone site. For now it's a standalone site. Later we're going to be checking central administration by joining this primary site and another primary site to the CAS. We're going to later check that too. So for now it's a primary site standalone one, as a standalone. So next, you have selected to install this site as a standalone. You can expand this site into a hierarchy at a later time. Yeah, whatever. We know that. Okay, yes. Now it says, do you have that SQL server? So yes, we have that SQL server, and this is the server on which our SQL is installed, and this is our local server, of course. Instance name, leave blank if default. Yes, we kept it as a default name. Whatever SQL server suggested, we just kept that name. And database name, by this name, configuration manager underscore Tor. Tor is the site name it's taking. So it's going to create a database with this name. Okay, next. Now at this point, if you click next, and if you haven't installed let me just check. If you haven't installed this, then at this point it doesn't go ahead, and then you have to come back and install SQL Server Service Pack 2, and then cancel out from here, and then start the wizard, SCCM wizard again, and then go ahead. So we did that before already, right? But if you don't do this Service Pack 2 and go ahead with SCCM, you're going to be stopped at this point. Okay, let's go back to the SQL Server data file. I hope that was it. Next, well, in previous screen there was nothing, just a path, right? Next, SMS provider are used by the configuration manager console to communicate with the site database. So it's just that specify the server where the SMS provider will be installed. The SMS provider cannot be installed on the server that is configured for SQL Server clustering. We didn't do SQL Server clustering, but it's just SMS provider is just going to be communicating or providing the communication between the console and the site database. So we're going to be deploying the SCCM console on the same machine, and we also have SQL Server on the same machine. If we had SQL Server in some other machine, so SMS, in both cases, SMS providers just let the console communicate with the database. Either it's on the same machine or the other machine, right? They're just providing communication between the two. Okay, so we don't change anything here. Next, on the screen it says all site system roles except only HTTPS communication from clients. So what it's saying is client computer communication settings. Do you want to, Mr. SCCM, do you want to communicate with your Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 clients securely, like through HTTPS communication. If you want to just go normal way without HTTPS. If you want to deploy through HTTPS, you must deploy certificate services. Either you go to VeriSign, which are external certificate providers, or GoDaddy.com for external certificate, or other many sites that provide security certificates. So you can use port 443 for HTTPS communication between your SCCM and your client machines. But we're gonna just go for that because it just becomes more complicated, but I can send you the lab anyway, step by step, if you want to do that. Configure the communication method on each site system role. We're just gonna go non-HTTPS. We're not gonna be using port 443 for encryption and authentication. So I'm just gonna select the medium one, middle one, and go next. Okay, we did talk about management point and distribution point. So it's going to be, they're both going to be installed on the same server. In case of distribution point, as I said, that if you go back to the diagram, so if you have Toronto site, suppose, and this is the SCCM, suppose you already have SQL server, file servers here. File servers have all the important files, software, paths to software already shared with proper permissions. Or so you can either put distribution point over a file server. So suppose this is the file server, and you actually connect the SCCM DVD and then just deploy the distribution point role. Or on the SCCM server itself, if it's a large organization, normally we use other servers, dedicated servers for distribution point. So if it's the SCCM server and the distribution point, the only thing is that whatever is the distribution point, you have to have the software available for it, either on the same server you put. Suppose you're deploying MS Office, suppose you're deploying Adobe Acrobat software, that software has to be available either on that server. That's why distribution points are deployed on file servers, because it already has all the files available there. But distribution point is a heavy traffic one. You can have a dedicated separate server for distribution point, or in our case we're going to be just deploying distribution point on the same SCCM server, and it's going to be where we're going to be downloading all the software. That's why we have a separate drive for us. So distribution point is just used for distributing all the software. If distribution point does not know where is MS Office or Adobe Acrobat, suppose we're deploying that, and it does not know that, or it's not configured to deploy MS Office, then we cannot deploy MS Office at all. So this is the only area we have to configure if we want to deploy anything, any software to the machines or operating system deployment to bare metal machines. Distribution point is the area where all the deployment is launched by SCCM. So distribution point is the same server. Management point as well, it just takes care of where are the SCCM, on which machines SCCM clients are deployed in the, suppose it's Win 7 or Win 8 client machines. So where are SCCM clients installed, and are they receiving all the SCCM policies? Suppose you're deploying something, you change the policy that, hey, all SCCM, all Windows 7, Windows 8 client, please communicate with us every 1 hour, or there are many scores of policies that we can implement, and all the settings, or take all the WSUS updates from SCCM server every 24 hours instead of every 48 hours, anything. So management point makes sure that the Windows clients or network assets are communicating properly with SCCM, and also they're getting all the updates, and Also, management point tells, hey, Windows 7, Windows 8, your distribution point is TOR. Do not try to connect to NYC for your software. So management point is actually managing all the communication between the client machines and the SCCM server, right? So management point, yes, it's typically installed on the SCCM server, but distribution point is heavy usage site role, so it normally is deployed on separate servers, but you can still deploy it on the same server. In our case, in our small lab, we're going to just deploy both distribution point and the management point on the same SCCM server, right? So yes, we're not going to change anything here, and it's going to do not HTTPS but HTTP communication with the clients. So next, join customer experience improvement program. I don't want to join at this time, so later. Yeah, okay, next. And setup will install configuration manager with the following settings, and fingers crossed, and let's just hope it successfully installs. So click next. Oh, it's still going to check some of the prereqs of its own now. If it's having some problem, if it's saying, hey, this is not installed, that is not installed, we're gonna try to install that thing, or try to resolve its warnings if it has any. Now if we have gone through all the prereqs perfectly, then we may not have a warning. It says that SQL Server process memory allocation, there's a warning. Really? Okay. Let's see what else it shows up. This is before deployment of SCCM. It's just doing a final check with some critical stuff without. Okay, we are good. So guys, if any one of you were following, or maybe a lot of you are following, this is it. If it's a warning, and if it says begin installation, and if it's not a critical status here, and you know, got 3 warnings. Okay, Xiaochan, you got three warnings. Can you come on mic and tell me which ones, if you don't mind? So you're gonna be a celebrity when you come to mic. So shall I open your mic, or you wanna tell me which warnings? So there is that memory allocation I have, right? Oh no, Xiaochan. Now try to. Yeah, now we can hear you. You can speak now. Yeah, you can. We can hear you now. Yes. Which warning you're getting? Hi. Oh. Yeah, we cannot hear you. Required SQL Server collection failed. Collation. SQL Server collection failed. Hey, did you? Okay, Michael, you're saying. Xiaochan, we cannot hear you. You can type. Yeah, sorry. Hello, Xiaochan. No, it's the connection is bad. No, Xiaochan, we cannot hear you. So, guys, you may type if you know, audio is not good. But Audi, wow, Audi car, audio, guys. Collation. So Michael, you're saying that collation. Yeah, collection got schema extensions warning. Seriously? Hey, Xiaochan, you did not do the first lab. Like there was that system container thing. There was that extension. Okay, yeah, you did. Maybe you have to just redo that. Active Directory domain functional level check. Oh, seriously? So Xiaochan, you have to make sure, just redo that, you know, system container, just go through step by step again. See my video earlier, and just do it again on the same thing, on the same environment, and then come here and just run check again. but does it say begin install to you, Shachan? And also to Michael. Oh, it still says begin. Guys, if you have lots of warnings and it still says begin install, it might have problems during the installation. It might just spill out some errors there. So it's always better to have this area clean. It says, okay, in my case it says configuration. If I click here, configuration manager requires SQL Server to reserve minimum of 8 gigs memory for the central instance site and memory site, and a minimum of 4 gigs for the secondary site. So this memory is reserved by using the minimum server memory setting by using SQL Server Management. I did that, seriously. But anyway, okay, although I did that and still puked it, this error. Okay, the DVD is not even there, so it's just, oh seriously, DVD is not there, DVD is not there. Anyway, I mean the ISO file for SQL Server is not there, so it's just showing this error, so I'm just gonna drag it. Okay, let's just begin the installation and hope for the best. It's gonna check a lot of stuff, huge amount of stuff, and it's gonna show overall progress. Evaluating setup environment, and there is still click next showing here. There will be a view log here. If you guys are able to click begin install, although it's gonna just, if you see begin install, just go for it, click begin install, but we can always troubleshoot. The lesser errors showing there or warnings showing there, the better. If during the installation it gives you error, take a screenshot of those errors and send to the group, so we could all see that and learn from that and try to troubleshoot that. Shachan, in your case, you could try to redo the prerequisites and check this error again. The lesser the warnings, the better. It should be a perfect installation with as less warnings as possible. So let me know if anyone else got any other errors. But Shachan, I'm showing this screen here. So this is that same blog I sent the link for. This is the area extension XAD schema, extend the AD schema. This should be successful, although it is. Just redo that, and before that, there was that Active Directory related task. Especially check all the steps here for Active Directory related system container we had to add. Then we had to add our SCCM server here, and then we had to give all the proper permissions to the SCCM server, right? So if it has all the proper permissions and it detects those permissions, and Shachan also select, okay, you can install. So you can also, Shachan, you can also try to check if your firewalls are off on both machines, because that could, SCCM could try to communicate with the Active Directory, and firewalls would not let SCCM do that. So check both firewalls on both your machines and turn them off, and that could, and then run check again. If somehow your total installation has some errors showing later, then just go for showing at least checking these firewalls, as well as redoing that first step of creating the system container inside the ADSI edit and giving them proper permissions. Okay, and schema extension warning, you have to just run that script again from elevated command prompt, the picture I showed you. Those warnings should not be coming. If those warnings are coming later, also you might have some problem. So those warnings should not be coming. Although we can go ahead with the installation, it's letting us do that. Later it could put more errors and warnings and it might be a hurdle to do all the later labs. They're gonna be bigger labs and much more, and that error might come back again and again and not let you do some of the installations. So it's going to keep going. 10 minutes left. So while this installation is going on, let's just check our notepad for a total recap. So till now, so SCCM, oh sorry, not done. SCCM is in progress. The rest are done. So today what we did was adding second disk and then copying and installing ADK. SQL Server install was then done. Adjusted the memory to 8 gigs for primary site configuration for SCCM. Then SQL Server Source Pack 2 deployed. Then WSUS deployed, and post installation was run, but we did not configure it anymore. Make sure about WSUS, it's carefully done. And SCCM 2012 is in progress right now. So total these steps were taken. Please make sure that before Thursday 7 o'clock your lab should be perfect. If you're having some issues, let me know. You want to download something, I'll send you the link. Just mention that. Don't be shy. Be very specific and be very straightforward, and just go ahead and ask. Don't be shy. It's you need to really do that lab perfectly, because later labs, when you become the king of your environment by deploying OSDs, by deploying software, by deploying all the other stuff, you're handling your 10,000 clients machine network. So you really have to be very careful with the basic installation, right? So there's a comment in the chat: 8 GB is physical or logical memory. So it is logical memory. It's just for SQL Server we defined minimum 8 GB. So this is when already we are expecting that our SCCM server or that SQL Server where you install SQL Server in your production environment, we are expecting that it should be 32 gigs, 64 gigs, 128 gigs nowadays, 256 gigs. Also high-end servers always have huge amount of memory. So when we are defining minimum of 8, this means that suppose on SQL Server there are databases of other applications as well, and they all consume a lot of memory, and when the memory is really low, so minimum of 8 GB we are assigning this SQL Server. So at least do not go lower for this database, for this SQL Server. Do not go lower than 8 GB. It cannot go lower than 8 GB if you define it to 8 GB minimum. So you're reserving this memory for that, right? And so it's going to be reserved, and it's going to be not taken away from there. So this is why we're defining minimum, and maximum is that it should not, maximum we should be defining more, but here we're just going for best practice, and it's only conserved in minimum mostly. We just went for a maximum as well. So if it is really retrieving a lot of or consuming a lot of memory, don't go more than that. This is just for our environment. We can just change it to maximum of anything. Minimum was supposed to be put there as the requirement was shown during the wizard as well. Okay, if SQL Server, now it's checking, setting up it's actually doing that. Q, welcome. So I hope everyone's lab is going fine. We still have time. You can just discuss your lab, have your team viewer ready if you're really stuck, and tomorrow I'm available in the evenings. Even in the daytime, you could just let me know, at least a screenshot you can send me so I can reply to that. But get your labs, basic lab, up and running perfectly, so we could go ahead with the actual deployments of software and operating systems. It's going to be a little complicated, but of course I'm going to try to make it easy for you, and we're going to go slow here because SCCM is complicated, and that's why there are so many jobs for SCCM. It is complicated, so that's why I'm making sure that we understand what exactly we're doing. We could take some extra classes as well, but we need to really make sure that we understand what we're doing and why we're doing. Also, again, if you're interested for Office 365 and Exchange 2010 2013, a mixture of these three, or at least 2013 and Office 365 class, then just email me and spread the word. We're gonna start that as well, not at some other time. And so many students are saying that when are you starting that SQL Server, the Exchange 2013 and Office 365. So email me so I could create that list, so we can just go for that as well. Okay, there's a message: still stuck at required SQL Server collation. Seriously? So Michael, that error, so there's a comment in the chat, still stuck at required SQL Server collation. Can you take a screenshot of that, guys? Always take a screenshot of your errors and send it to me, or especially to the group, so we could all see that and try to resolve it. At what stage are you seeing this, Michael? You could come on mic if you want, or you want to chat. It's up to you. Required SQL Server collation. Yep, Mike. Okay. Okay, we can hear you. Oh, okay. And yeah, warning is still okay. Yeah. SQL Server collation. Did you make any changes at that time? No, you just followed me, right? And yeah. Oh, yes, it's related to SQL setup. And you know what? Can you send me this screenshot and the description as well? And I really need to check that, and have your team viewer ready as well, and let me know what's your availability. Or we can just you can send the error now and we can check it as well. It's up to you. But you can send at least the error, because it's one of those common errors. It does come there. Okay. Okay, I'm muting the mic now. Okay. So okay, this is, yeah, and there is another comment in the chat: please upload the video with every steps. I missed most of it due to slow connection. Yeah, sure, Mahfouz, we'll do that. And let me know what else you missed. And guys, please engage me. And tomorrow, but before 7 o'clock Thursday, your lab must be perfect. And it's not easy, I understand, so that's why I'm extending my help. Have your team viewer ready if you're really stuck somewhere, so I can just help you. This when this installation finishes, I'm gonna continue the video. And once the installation finishes, I'm just gonna stop the video and try to upload it as soon as possible, so you could try tonight or tomorrow evening. You can try to do that, and you will find the video there inside the day 2 in the Online Academy LMS. And I'm gonna add all your Gmails to that YouTube video, so you could have access to that, and just try to follow that. And wherever you're stuck, let me know. You must get this lab up and running perfectly. You miss any step, let me know. Just WhatsApp me, send a message on WhatsApp, and text me, email me, Skype me. So make sure your lab is up and running. Yes, and send me all the errors. Whenever you see an error, please take a screenshot and send me, right? We can and also try to do a Google of on your own as well for your errors, and also just let me know what's going on. So it's 10 o'clock. If there are no questions, then expect the video. Okay, there is another comment there. Video is not clear. The resolution is not clear that you posted on the site. Is it? So have a good night. So is video clear or not, guys? Because so anyone seen the previous video? Is the quality okay? Is the quality not okay? Let me know. Okay, so Michael, you're saying it's clear for you. It's the same software, Camtasia, so it has already been cleared. Oh yeah, use VLC. Okay, yeah, so Ali is saying that we can start the exchange class after SCCM class. Yes, this is a suggestion. Okay, so Shaoshan is also saying that quality was not good. I think it's on YouTube, and if I'm just going there now and running that, so I'm showing it on the video on the screen now. You go inside there and check. So if I play this now and click this YouTube and then click this to expand that, right? You guys are all seeing that, right? I also wanted to make sure. And if I go to HD, it is saying auto 720p auto. So instead of auto, if I go for 720p, click that, so it loads again, and I guess it tries to just fix that. So if I go further to the video to load, okay, this is just big words. I want to go to the lab now. Okay, I'm just checking the quality on the video itself now. So let's see. Are you doing exactly that, everyone? I mean, like you go to the YouTube to watch this video, just click the YouTube button, and there's the actual video now, actual lab going on. I can understand and see everything. Is that how you're saying that you're seeing that video? You can come on mic now if you want. It's pretty clear to me. So Michael is also suggesting that use VLC, but yeah, well, it's all understandable, and even the PowerShell is understandable. I have just put it full screen here, and if you see it in this size, definitely it's not good. Go for HD and go for 720p. Click that, go to 720, and also expand the full screen. Go to full screen, right? And especially don't see it inside the LMS. Just click this button, YouTube, right? Okay, so this is the explanation, but guys, I'm just waiting. You can, if you want to go, you can go. I'm just waiting for this to finish, so the video will keep on going. So I'm just gonna not stop the recording. I'm just gonna stop this, stop sharing this on WebEx. So the recording will keep on going until it's successfully finished, or if there's any error, I'm gonna record that as well and try to resolve this. So it's 10 o'clock. If you wanna go, it's up to you. You're welcome. Okay, there is another question. How can I download the video? So I haven't made it available for download. Now I'm going to create the download version of the day 1 video and the day 2 video, and I'm gonna upload it to Dropbox. Then I'm going to put that link inside under day 1 in the LMS, and under day 2 in the LMS, the downloadable version. So you will still have to go inside the online academy, go under day 1, and you will find the yeah, no problem. So under day 1, already the day 1 video is showing there, so you should be able to see that. And day 2, but I'm gonna just put there the downloadable version as well. I haven't yet done that. Okay, and any other questions, let me know. I'm going to be starting the cloud class as well, AWS plus Windows Azure, as well as the Exchange. So there are some advertisement I'm doing. So if anyone interested, let me know about the cloud class. So many jobs are coming out for Azure and AWS. And Microsoft Private Cloud certification is there, which is very, very important now. Plus Exchange class. So upcoming classes are these. Let me know if anyone's interested. The price will be nearly the same, like just like this. So let me know, and separately email me if you're interested. Okay. There's another question. My HDD has slowed me down today. Can I move the VMDK files to a new HDD without losing data? Of course you can. So you have to just go to the folder. So see this, I'm right clicking this my machine, settings, yes, since you know that, so I'm just showing still options, and there is that path to your virtual machine. So just copy the whole folder. SCCM01 is the name of the folder by the name of the machine. Just copy the whole folder anywhere on your second hardware. Just copy the whole thing, and yes, it's not gonna touch anything inside, or it's not gonna mess anything inside. Also SCCM, I'm going to change this to 4 gigs now. I have enough memory, so I'm just gonna give SCCM server 4 GB instead of 2 GB. But yes, transfer it to a SSD drive, right? Guys, I'm just continuing this recording, so I'm not gonna stop here, but if you want to go, it's 10 o'clock, you can go. And if you have any questions, let me know. Wow, it's taking a lot of time. I should have already updated it to 4 gigs, the virtual machine memory. Anyway, so if there are no questions, then I'll just go and have my dinner and stop the WebEx, but I'll keep on recording still and upload this once this finished installation, right? Oh wow, Shaochen. So it's already installed? Wow, that's good. Oh, it's going fine. That's very good. Congrats, man. Wow, it's giving me setting up the SQL Server database just stuck there. That's not good. Oh man. Anyway, I don't know the warning's gonna make some problems or not. Yeah, so stick with the installations, guys, and good luck. And let me know if there's an error popping up. Just send me the screenshot, right? Send to the group the screenshots. Everyone should see that error. So let's hope there's no error. If there's an error, I'll have to troubleshoot that and put it in the video. If there's no errors, then I'm gonna just finish the video and just upload it and send you all the message. So okay guys, see you on Thursday 7 o'clock. Good night, and continue with the installation. Make your lab available and working before 7 o'clock Thursday. Okay, good night. I'm gonna keep the recording till whenever it finishes. So good night everyone. Bye bye. Okay, so it is installed finally. If I go way up and way down, so it is installed, and I could just press close here. I could view the log here, and you can close the wizard for a list of tasks to help you configure your site. See post, setup, configuration tasks in the configuration manager document library. It took 2 hours 26 minutes. That's a long time, and there's still one final step remaining. So I would change this to done, and also install configuration manager console, and it's a step I'm adding, small step, but let's just do that. So this is the window that started when we mounted the DVD of configuration manager and clicked install here, right? So there's that install configuration manager console also available here. Let's quickly install that as well. Press yes. So it's going to start the wizard. So the installation is nearly finishing. Okay, as you can see now, the configuration manager console setup is finished successfully, and start the configuration manager console after you close the setup wizard is checked. So let's click finish, and it will open the console for configuration manager. And there you go, it's starting the console. database. It's trying to connect to that in the SQL server 2. And it's loading its console. So there you go. The console is loaded for System Center Configuration Manager 2012 R2, and it is for 180 days here. The site name is Tor, and site code actually is Tor, and site name is Toronto site. Then there's assets and compliance, software library, monitoring, and administration. So all these components we're going to be discussing, and we're going to go ahead with each of these components in detail. Okay, well, day 2 covers all this, and you should just repeat your lab again. I would recommend that increase the memory of this SCCM from 2 gigs to 4 GB or 6 GB if you want, if you have enough memory in your machine, physical machine. And for now, I'll just leave this console to load all its components, and we're going to be meeting in day 3 to discuss all these components. Good luck with the installation.